beat preview. So I am going to be doing a beat breakdown here of this sample I made a couple days, weeks ago, whatever. So let's get started. You see I have all the audio files right here, but I'm gonna be working with the actual MIDI. So you guys can see every single thing that I did and all the techniques that I used and all that good stuff. Not gonna be gatekeeping anything. I'll show you guys how to do everything that I did. And give me 1 second here. So now I finally have all the MIDI laid out so we can go over everything that I did. So the first thing here is the bass. I have a Mini V4 from Arteria Lab. I actually made this bass myself. Yeah, I made this bass myself. I can actually do a tutorial later on at some point on how I make some of my sounds. But yes, made this one. And on the bass, I have, let's see, this Moog MF108S cluster flux. This is just chorus. That's all it is. You can use it for like delay and things like that, but it's really just a chorus plugin. A little bit of EQ here, take out like some of the highs, and just give that a listen. Now you look at the MIDI. I actually played this in. I did quantize the bottom notes here, and originally I made this sample in A minor. And then I'm pretty sure I just pitched it down or up. I can't remember, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, that's that right there. So that's the bass, which carries the whole thing really. This is just a chop for the intro. I got that from this string section right here. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, look, it just chopped like the very first note of the strings. There is nothing on there. Let's go down here. You'll notice that this string section here is muted. It is muted for a reason because I have a plugin on it that will not shut up, but we'll get there in one moment. Right here I have this bell synth. Just did some really basic chords. Just some thirds, nothing special. That plugin is from Diva. It's actually, I'm sorry, that sound is from Diva. It is a standard sound. It comes with Diva, and you can find it under this Fernando M. Rodriguez section on here. Just got a little bit of EQs to take out the muddiness in the lower frequencies. And I put an H delay on it. Now this plugin is extremely important for making things sound analog. It really adds in just that analog feel and sound. This preset that I have on it, I made it, and it's what's giving it that. Like, you hear that? If you hear how it sounds kind of detuned in the delay, that's from this modulation section right here, where I turned the depth up just by 1 and the rate up here to 11.11. And then you got this analog section right here, which adds in just like the analog feel. I know it adds in like some fuzz and stuff in the top end. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah. And then I have this brass synth right here that is also from Diva in that same preset bank from before. And just more EQ to take out the lower frequencies, the muddiness there, and then taking a little bit off the like mid highs, whatever you want to call those. So let's give that a listen. Look at the MIDI. I added those in just to give these samples some, more punch to it. This string section, I have it turned off because when I turn it on, it does this. Hey, you hear that? That is from, I can take this rolling sampler off. That's from H delay. I have the feedback turned up to 114. The feedback with the delay plugins is the amount of echoes that you're going to hear. So you turn it up, you're gonna keep getting echoes. You keep turning up, they will go on just literally forever. And that's exactly what it's doing, so. So back to the delay. This is another preset that I made here. You can copy it if you want, feel free. This is the UADX LA2A tube compressor. It's literally just a tube compressor. I just turned up the gain a lot so that I kind of push it into the red and make some distortion. Adding that distortion to it gives it more of that analog feel, so it sounds real, because I can't talk. Those imperfections make the real analog synth sound just a lot more rich. That's the sound that we all know and love. To this section right here, we have this lead. Pretty distorted lead. That's in the Mini V4 again. I made this preset as well. Feel free to copy it down. Got the inspiration from like Mike Dean and whatnot. Just trying to get that sound. I put another one of these chorus plugins on it. Same one from the preset the same one that we talked about before. Another H delay to give it more of the analog feel. Tone Flex. This is a game changer right here. I really love this plugin. It is by Kavi, KXVI. You can look it up. Where's it from? Sonix Audio, SONIX. Yeah, look that up. It's a really good plugin. I can't remember how much it costs. I want to say it's less than $100. I think it was like 70 something. It might have been on sale or whatever when I got it. But basically, this is a plugin. It's really just a big pedal board. So it's got all these pedals in it that you can modulate and do whatever you want to do with. Has a lot of presets, and I just picked one, and it added some saturation, resampler, which is just it brings down the sample rate. So when you bring down the sample rate of something, it just starts to sound degraded. It loses a lot of the top end, and that's why it sounds like this now, because without it, it would sound like this. You see I lost some of that top end, and then it also got distorted because there is a drive here. Oh, I didn't even put the drive on there. Regardless, I could have. And then just more EQ to take out the muddiness. So low ends, and then this frequency right here is huge. If your stuff sounds muddy, you really want to go to like this 100 to 300 hertz section and just pull all of that down. It's gonna make it sound so much better. And then I panned it until it went to stereo panning. I brought it in a little bit because it was too wide before, and that's that. So for this section right here, the bridge, I wanted to switch up the bass and just, you know, play a little bit. I have the MIDI keyboard down here. You guys can't see it, but I played all of this stuff in. You can do it all by typing it all in. What I will recommend though, at least on Logic Pro, there's an option. If you're gonna type it in like this stuff here, you go to Functions, MIDI Transform, and Humanize. From there, this menu will pop up. Just hit select and operate. It'll pick all the stuff and then just change it. What it does is it will, give me a second. What it does is it will transform the MIDI. It shifts it over in little bits and pieces. It changes the velocity of the notes to make it sound more human, like you didn't just type every single note in. So that's a really good tip if you aren't able to just play it in yourself. But back to this bridge here, got the same bass as before that I used up here. I just you know, played in some different notes. And if you hear at the end where it's going up, I use the pitch wheel on my MIDI keyboard. Pull it up. Yeah, I use the pitch wheel on my MIDI keyboard to, you know, make it go up like that. And you can actually draw this in as well. In fact, so yep, you want to come over. If you're gonna put the pitch bend in yourself, if you don't have a MIDI keyboard, you go to the pitch bend over down here in the automation MIDI section by pressing the A button. And after the bridge, I did another section for my bass. It's the exact same bass, the Mini V4 with the chorus plug-in on it. This is just the brass from before, but I put an H delay on it. I think this is the same H delay actually. Same plugin from Diva, the exact same one. And I put Shaper Box on it so I could give it a, I can modulate the volume. And with that Shaper Box plugin, it sounds like this. Same chords as before, just copy and paste them. Without it, it would just be. some automation coming up, I pitched it down. And that is about it, but there is one thing that I am missing here. You'll notice down here, I hid it away with this string synth. This is the strings from before. Remember I was telling you guys how it had that constant echo that won't go away? Well, I actually took advantage of that and I did something that I think is pretty cool. So give me 1 minute here, I will show you. So this string synth is the same as the string synth that's up here. And so if you look at the MIDI, you see how it stops right there. The echo keeps going. So I bounced it. So I actually bounced the strings down, and then that echo, I let it keep going and going and going. And I used it for the bridge. So hold on, I'm trying to show you the automation as well. So the bridge starts at the 25th bar. For automating the volume, just press the A button when you're on the main screen here where you can see everything. Press A and then the volume should show up. You just start putting in your points. Just click once and you can make them however you want. Yep. So for this lead right here, this is from Analog Lab. It is the lead valedictorian. That is from Kavi Sound Sonic Mastery Bank, and on it I have a UAD pure plate reverb. Here are the settings. You can change it if you want. It's just a reverb plugin. I really actually love this reverb plugin. I use it on almost everything. And some EQs, take out the lows, and shaper box. Shaper box just to do some panning on it, so it was going from like left to right. And that's that for the plugin. Then I took everything and I put it into a bus, and I ran that bus through UAD Verve Analog Machine Essentials, which is basically just an emulation of a tape machine. So it made it, sound like it went through tape, which I did to add more of that analog feel. And on top of everything, on my master, I have a Neutron 3 plugin, Sculptor, which just shapes the sound in real time. So, like, Soothe 2 basically does the same thing if you know that plugin, but this came with Ozone and a whole bunch of other stuff, so I just use this instead. And I have Ozone 11, and I ran a vintage EQ. I always go to like 10 kHz and boost it to like 1.2, 1.4, something like that. It's July 6th. It's July 6th and they're still popping fireworks. All right. Anyway, then I put the vintage limiter on here as well. On the tube version, I like that tube compression, how it makes it sound. This is just, so it doesn't clip or anything. Don't want anything going past -1 decibels. And yep, and that's how I made the sample. So I just put the MIDI away for everything. And the other reason why I bounce everything down is because you see I used a lot of reverb and delay and whatnot. Those things all have tails, so when the MIDI ends, the sound will continue going. I don't want everything to bleed into each other. Some stuff bleeding over does sound good. It makes it sound way more analog, way more real, but sometimes I just want a hard cut, and it gives me full control of when that cut happens if you just bounce everything down. And I put fades on everything so there's no clipping. You go over here, open up this section on the left, just adding your fades, or you can do it by hands by just coming to this corner and then pulling it. And let's undo that. And one more time, here is the full sample. I forgot to put the lead back in there, but you guys heard it earlier, so. All right, well, that is that. That's my first beat breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. It helps me grow the channel. And that's all. This is 306. I'm out. You have a good one.